My name is Agnieszka.
My name is Lauren.
I am Jacqueline Kwaku from Ivory Coast.
Poland.
I'm from England and I'm a Global Pathfinder.
I'm from the United States.
I'm from Malaysia.
I'm from Glen Allen, Virginia.
From Uganda.
I'm from Virginia.
I am from the United States and I am a Global Pathfinder.
And I'm a Global Pathfinder.
I am very passionate on urban design.
We can empower communities.
I feel that I am making a difference.
Passionate about.
Absolutely passionate about
issues pertaining climate change.
I believe that opportunities should be available to everyone.
Where young people have equal access to quality education.
Promoting transparency in governance.
I believe in the power of storytelling.
To be able to impart our shared experiences.
I'm passionate about helping my clinical care team.
And what a better place than Virginia to talk about
literature, sports,
community development,
arts and public school education,
youth empowerment.
I am glad that I am participating in this year's Global Pathfinder Summit.
Global Pathfinder.
Global Pathfinder.
And I'm a Global Pathfinder.
And I'm a Global Pathfinder.
And I am a Global Pathfinder.
I am a Global Pathfinder.
And I am very happy to be a Global Pathfinder. It is so amazingly thrilling and exciting to have you all here in Charlottesville for this Global Pathfinder Summit. My name is Kathy Spangler, and I'm the Executive Director of the 2019 Commemoration, American Evolution. We are so thrilled to have you here. American Evolution is the Commonwealth of Virginia's 400th anniversary commemoration of key historic events that occurred in 1619 in Virginia that not only changed the world in America, but continue to shape our nation today. These events included the first representative legislative assembly in the New World, and now the longest continuously operating legislative body in the Western Hemisphere. The arrival of the first enslaved Africans to English North America, and of course this set forth a very challenging and difficult history for Virginia and all of America that we continue to struggle with today. The recruitment of English women in significant numbers, which resulted in the permanency of the Virginia Company, which became the colony and led to the United States. The first official English Thanksgiving in North America, and for those of you from Virginia, yes, the first Thanksgiving started in Virginia, and not, as many would say, Massachusetts. And of course, the entrepreneurial and innovative spirit, which was the company. It was one of the first opportunities to outsource enterprise. We like to say Virginia is America's original startup. So all of these things combined in 1619 really changed the trajectory of what became the United States. Our history is challenging. It's not easy. You come from countries where it's the same. We choose in Virginia and America to talk about this history, to commemorate it, to bring recognition to it. And that's why the 2019 commemoration is an important part of our year and why you're all here joining us for the Global Pathfinder Summit. I'd like to share a brief video with you to give you the highlights and overview from leadership of this commemoration.
I think people can learn a lot from Virginia history. There's a lot that happened here that caused other things to happen in the country.
2019 commemoration focused on 4 areas: the first representative democracy, the first Africans, the impact of women, and Thanksgiving.
Virginia is set to host an exciting schedule of events, educational initiatives, and special exhibitions around the ideas of democracy, diversity, and opportunity.
As Virginians, we are blessed with an abundance of history. And every day we continue to make history. And it's from Virginia to America that we will showcase our incredible assets.
Being able to actually celebrate something that really does bind together rather than divide is becoming ever more important. And I hope it really does bring a lot of those events and a lot of those stories back to life again.
Everyday people like you and me, can make incredible changes in American society.
I would not be here today. So many people would not be where we are today. And America would not be where it is today without fighting for justice, and that we really need to look from our history to get inspiration.
The whole arc of history starts in Virginia and then resonates throughout the United States, so to be a part of that is a thrilling experience.
Jamestown Colony was about discovery, it was about innovation, it was about trade. That's why the year's anniversaries are so important. There are many milestones that are part of this American evolution.
You can feel and see and be in the place where the people who made history had been, and realize that you are also part of that history, of that continuing story.
The commemoration are democracy, diversity, and opportunity. And our charge was to create programs of national and international significance. To have all of you here is helping us do that. It's fitting that we're gathered today in the Commonwealth of Virginia to talk about civic engagement. American democracy began right here in Virginia. In the summer of 1612, 22 legislators of the Virginia colony met and made history. Their gathering marked the first representative legislative assembly in the Western Hemisphere and became a model for American democracy. A lot has certainly happened in the 400 years since 1619, and we're going to cover a lot of information this week as we reflect upon the challenges of leadership, civic engagement, and governance in both 21st century democracies and states aspiring to democracy. Virginia history is Americans' history. The commemoration brand is American evolution. It depicts the ongoing journey toward those key ideals of democracy, diversity, and opportunity. Our goal is to engage Americans and citizens worldwide to explore these themes and the role Virginia played in the creation of the United States. This event is our first democracy-focused event, although each of our events emphasizes the three themes and the history of 1619. As a commemoration, we have designed our programs, events, and exhibitions through a contemporary lens, such that we might reflect upon the past, understand our present, and imagine our future as a Commonwealth and as a nation. Just look around, 135 Global Pathfinders from 47 different countries here this week in Virginia. It's amazing to have you finally here to discuss the importance of civic engagement in thriving and emerging democracies. This is the first of our three major democracy-focused events. The following will be the 400th anniversary of the first representative legislative assembly and a forum on the future of representative democracy. This 2019 commemoration is funded in large part by our Virginia General Assembly. It speaks volumes of a government that invests in its history and amplifying it for others. I'd like to recognize Delegate LaCherice Aird, who is not only a Global Pathfinder this week, but a member of our House of Delegates of the Virginia General Assembly, a member of the class of 400. Delegate Aird, are you here? Oh, goodness, she hasn't arrived yet. You'll hear from her later. I'd like to take a moment to thank our presenting partner, the University of Virginia, for their support for this and other democracy-related events. I'd also like to thank McGuire Woods for their support in this internationally focused events. There are among 24 corporate and institutional sponsors for this commemoration. The 2019 commemoration, American Evolution, has partnered with over 30 leading Virginia institutions and organizations to present programs and events across the year, and we're glad that they're all part of our effort. We are also part of another event this week in Charlottesville. The 2019 commemoration is a sponsor of the Presidential Ideas Festival, organized by the University of Virginia Miller Center. We will be combining a couple of events with the Pres Fest this week, so you will have an even greater opportunity to build your global network. One of our leading Virginia institutions that we've partnered with is the Presidential Precinct. They serve as our lead partner for this Global Pathfinder Summit. Almost 3 years ago, we met to brainstorm a concept for a global summit of emerging leaders to discuss the future of democracy. I'm so grateful to the entire Presidential Precinct team and for your focus and your leadership and your effort over the past 3 years. And to make sure that you know all of them, I would like to welcome and introduce their Executive Director, Neal Piper of the Presidential Precinct. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Good to see you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Charlottesville, Virginia. It's so good to see so many familiar faces. It's like family. It's like a big family reunion this week. I'm really excited to see everybody. Thanks for making the journey. And many of you long journeys. I've heard stories of 30-hour flights. We also have our local Virginians that are here that have traveled across the state. It really means a lot to us all that you're here with us. My name is Neal Piper. I'm the Executive Director of the Presidential Precinct. I'm really honored to be here with you all to kick off the 2019 Global Pathfinder Summit. It's going to be a tremendous week. The Presidential Precinct started 6 years ago, and when the organization was founded, I knew this is where I needed to be. I doubt any of you have ever had that problem, right? Where you see some kind of challenge, a problem, and you just feel it in your gut that that's where you're supposed to commit your time and talent. And I knew this for myself. I moved to Charlottesville in 2013 after a career in global health. And in that work, in that role, I met young people like everyone in this room who are working to create better communities around the world. And after traveling to over 60 countries around the world, there was really one thread from all the stories of leaders that I met with, and it's that young people, we're not sitting on the sidelines for change to happen anymore. We're rising up, we're taking initiative, and we're investing in our communities and moving ideas forward to make our communities better for the next generation. And we're all here because we have found different and successful pathways to tackle big pressing challenges in our communities. And although we all come from different circumstances and dealing with unique challenges, there's really one thing that's binding us all together, and that's our vision and our common goal to build a better future. And this goal is really at the work of what we all do as leaders. It's really our guiding, our North Star, but it's also the foundation to the work we do at the Presidential Precinct, and that's to make lifelong investments in emerging leaders who are looking to build a better future for the next generation. So, I want to take a little time to really focus on the lifelong investment. Throughout this week, you'll not only hear from extraordinary leaders and speakers, but you'll really get the opportunity to roll up your sleeves, engage one another, share what's working in one country or community with another, and think through best practices that can really move your communities forward, because although we have unique circumstances, there's common problems that we can address together. And, as a result of this week coming together, we're going to develop a unique global network. You'll develop your own family, your own new connections that will continue through life. And it's something that's really important to us, not to, just build programs. You're here for a week, you go home, and, you continue doing things that you were doing before, but it's to create a lifelong commitment, and we will continue these ideas moving forward and these relationships through the Presidential Precinct Network. You'll note that there's some leaders in this room that have been here. This is their second time, third time back to Charlottesville, and it's really extraordinary to see the power of the network working together to improve the world. You were all chosen. Many of you may be wondering, why am I here? And you were chosen because of there's a big talented applicant pool of really extraordinary leaders around the world that we're selecting. It's because of the commitment and the impact that you've made as a civic leader. It's really extraordinary. I feel so humbled to be associated with everyone, and I really hope to get an opportunity to get to know your stories more personally over the next week. But whether you're working in South Africa, working in food or water security, or from Bolivia, working to help provide economic opportunities for marginalized citizens, or working in Virginia to lobby for funding for Virginia education, you're all doing really amazing things. And what's amazing to me is that if you can accomplish all these things on your own, imagine what we can do together. And together this week, we're going to talk about the future of democracy and the role that this strong foundation plays in our work around the globe. This week you'll have the opportunity to talk about the biggest issues that we're facing in our world today. We'll talk about social innovations that are empowering communities, and you'll get an opportunity really to find your own leadership journey. I think one of the most powerful things about stepping away from your work, and I know you all have very busy schedules, so it's really hard to get away, but to just think introspectively about yourself, the path you're on, the leadership journey you're on, and kind of, is this a time to steer it? Is this a time to change course? Think of these ideas and move forward, and you'll have that opportunity this week. It's really no coincidence that we're having this conversation here, where Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, they put pen to paper. They built friendships to kind of think through the foundations of what became modern-day democracy around the world. And we're relying on you to really form a global community of thoughtful, innovative, bold, powerful civic leaders who have the mission to improve our world. And, looking at your bios and, knowing many of you in this room, we're really counting on you to really move our world forward. And, it's time to get to work. And I'm really excited to be a part of your journey moving forward. And, in closing, there's some people I'd like to thank, because, without these people, this week simply wouldn't have been possible. First, I'd like to thank American Evolution, whose vision to think through this important initiative of bringing leaders around the world came to life, as Kathy mentioned 3 years ago. This summit simply wouldn't be possible without their support. I'd also like to thank University of Virginia's Bicentennial Commission, UVA's Miller Center, who we're partnering with the Presidential Ideas Festival. Also, the Department of State and the J1 Visa Exchange Program, the United Way and Atlas Corps. Encourage all of you as you're walking around in the hallway, introducing yourself to folks. If you see someone with a name tag from one of these organizations, just thank them. Because it's because of these leaders and others that Kathy mentioned that we're able to be here this week. I'm really pleased to welcome our next guest, Ambassador Steve Mull, who's really going to set the stage for the summit, putting the concepts of citizenship, civic engagement, and democracy in context. Please join me in welcoming Ambassador Steve Mull, Vice Provost of Global Affairs at the University of Virginia.